Hello, Caviar Dreamers.
Hello, Caviar Dreamers.
I am so excited because we have Carson Kressley on today.
I'm so excited. We dressed up as Caviar Contessas.
Caviar Contessa.
We brought our social
I am
game.
so excited. And by the way, he's here already. He's here. Carson's here. There's no introduction needed. He's unbelievably fabulous, and he is here.
Okay, let's see. We admitted him in.
He's admitted like to the hospital. Carson,
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
Gorge. You're
So do you.
Well, we
Hello.
dressed up for you. You know, Lexi.
Done.
Hi,
No.
Carson. How are you?
Nice to meet you. You're gorgeous.
Lexi works with me, has worked with me for 12 years. 12 years. She's on the show with me. And
Right.
Yes. So nice to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Likewise, I just got in from the barn, so I'm all like, I'm so rugged today, but don't worry about it.
So manly.
Yes.
Thank you.
But since you listen, we gave you a nice announcement. You're award-winning for Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. You're an Emmy nominated in 2003. You're an Emmy winner in 2004. You've literally been on every freaking show. How to Look Good Naked as a host. I mean, you did Carson Nation on the OWN network. I mean, what have you not done? I mean, that's the whole thing.
Just basic everything but ladies. I don't do the ladies.
I mean, it's so. I mean, we went on your how do you say
IMDb.
DB.
Oh,
I always screw it up.
It's like War and Peace. It just keeps
going.
I know. But on that, and for your listeners, I mean, IMDb is the Internet Movie Database, and it has every famous person's basically your resume.
Yes.
And it looks long, but it's very deceiving because it's long, but it's not very girthy, if you know what I mean. Because they're usually everything is on there from one appearance on Live with Regis and Kelly, and one appearance on Celebrity Love Boat remake. So it looks a lot more impressive than it is, but many of them are one-hit wonders. But I have been, sometimes I look at that just to get a sense of oh, what have I done? Because
yes,
that being on TV, you do it and it happens and then it goes away. And I don't ever feel like it's very substantial. I get more gratification out of doing laundry because
yes.
I'm just oh my gosh, I put the laundry in and I turned it on and then I folded it and I put it in the dryer, then I folded it. I feel oh, I did something. Sometimes when you do TV, it happens and you don't see it, or you do see it and it's just so fleeting that I'll sometimes go to IMDb to see what I've done and be wow, I guess I did do a lot of stuff. So I've just been lucky, and I say yes to everything. I'm a media hoe, and I'm not very choosy.
I feel I'm the same way. Why not say yes? I mean, listen, you won Cupcake Wars.
I did. I never win anytime I do a reality competition, like Dancing with the Stars, I was terrible, but I had a lot of fun. And then The Apprentice, actually, I thought I would do really well. And, there would be moments where they would set it up for something to go wrong. And they were you're doing a makeup launch party and your furniture didn't arrive. And I was listen, I used to sleep with the manager of this hotel. I called him this morning at 5 a.m. He said the furniture is here. So if you'd like to have some drama on camera, we can do that. Or we can just go find my furniture.
Exactly.
So I thought I could win that, but I didn't. But then I finally did win Celebrity Cupcake Wars. So it's all good in the end.
It is, because it's all for charity. But we want to know, and the listeners, viewers want to know, you are so fabulous. So how did you become Carson Kressley? Listen, you were born.
Yes.
I want to know about your parents. Did they nurture you? Because, you came on the scene strong. People instantly fell in love with you on Queer Eye. So tell me a little bit about yourself growing up.
I was, I was a child of the 70s, so there was no nurturing going on.
Me too, by the way. Me too.
Yeah, and in New Jersey? or
No,
where?
I was born in New Jersey, was raised in New York in Westchester, and then came back to Jersey.
Okay.
But in New Jersey till I was 11.
Okay, but in the 70s, like they just set me loose. They're like, here's a bike, go
Yes.
drive around the neighborhood. Like and I was the kind of kid that it would have been like, if a stranger pulled up with like, candy and a van, I would have been like, sure, let's go for a ride. Like you were just turned loose.
Was in New Jersey? In New Jersey?
This was in Pennsylvania, in Allentown, in the suburbs, and it was actually quite idyllic because back then we just, there was no helicopter parenting, and literally, like, I would go to school, my parents would be at work, I would come home, I would, sometimes I would try on lipstick and outfits while my parents were gone. Sometimes I would just ride my bike all over creation with my friends, like it was the Goonies. And we were just set free and loose and wild. And it was fantastic. And I feel bad now for kids that the world is so messed up that you can't, live that free and easy kind of childhood that we did.
I agree. I always say, listen, I could have easily been a drug actor or a stripper. I did whatever I wanted. I'd come home after school. Marge Sr. was working. I would say raised by wolves. I did, I was out on the streets, same thing, riding my bike, swimming in the lake, doing whatever. I came home for dinner when it got dark. It didn't make a difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, you came back. Dinner was like at 5 or something really early. And then I would do homework. So I was just, and the thing that I think was really good for me is that my grandparents had a pony farm, and it was next to our house. There was 200 ponies in a giant field next to me. So I was really into like riding, and I had, I could just go out and literally like jump on a pony, and I would watch Black Beauty on TV. Yes, I was always super gay. And that allowed me, I got to be pretty good, and I went to horse shows all over the country. And when I was a little bit older, I was on the World Cup team in the 90s, and we competed in South Africa. So even though I was from a small, even though I was from a small town in Pennsylvania and very middle-class parents, I did have some great opportunities because of showing horses and being involved in that world. And then the thing that I think was most important was that as soon as I got done with college, I went to Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania. It was like 1,500, kids from New Jersey and Pennsylvania who wore the J. Crew catalog and drove BMW 318Is. It was very homogenous.
Yes.
But the pivot for me, or pivotal moment, was I graduated from college like on May 5th, 1991. And I knew that on May 6th, I was going to move to New York City. Because that was, where you could reinvent yourself and be anything you wanted to. And I've always been a clueless big dreamer where I was like, of course I can get a job at Ralph Lauren.
You and I are so like delusional. I said part determination, part delusion.
Yeah. And I just didn't know any better. And I've always been a big thinker like that. And same with like, oh, there's this show called Queer Eye, you should try out for it. I was like, sure, I have a great job. I don't care if I don't get it. Let's try out for it. And I did. And, I've been doing TV for almost 20 years.
I know. Congratulations. That is unbelievable. And I mean, you were like the breakout star, which is everybody fell in love with. Everyone fell in love with you right away. I mean, I remember I watched it immediately. As soon as it came on, I was obsessed with the show. And it was, how many years was that on the first?
We did 5 seasons. I think it was like somehow they crammed 5 seasons into 4 years.
Yeah, which was so good. And it launched your career. It launched your career, Tom's career. It launched a lot of amazing careers, but your opportunities have been so fabulous since then.
Yes. Yeah, no, I've been really lucky that it was a great platform. And, the stars aligned. And I always say like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was like my international velvet, because it was a career maker, but it was just, I was really good at that job. Like I was great at helping style these clueless guys, and all of us on the show were good about approaching it with humor and heart and lightheartedness and not being mean. And I think that really resonated. And it was also great timing that that show came along at the perfect time. It was the perfect fit for me. Bravo was just bought by NBC. So they were being rebranded and relaunched. Like there was a lot of stars aligning to make it successful.
What do you think of the new reboot of Queer Eye?
I like it, and I think that I think it's so gratifying that a brand from 20 years ago, like reboots just generally don't work.
Don't work. I agree.
There's nothing like the original oftentimes, but I think in this case, it does work, and it's so great that 20 years later it still resonates. And I think the most important thing is that, we were doing this show in New York City with pretty open, forward-thinking people. Even, there was some part of the comedy was like the guys were bristling at us, and I was like, oh honey, and I was like sitting in their laps, and that was part of the comedy and part of like breaking down the walls. But this new crew is going to places in rural Georgia and the middle of Missouri, and that's, I think very brave, and they're having those conversations in places where they probably need to happen more so than New York City. So I think that's a great twist to it. And I think all of the guys on the show are great representatives and great people to carry the torch forward, because I do think you needed a new, younger crew to reach that whole, it's a younger vibe, and Netflix is, I don't know a whole lot about Netflix, but I feel like it's a younger audience as well. And there's a whole generation of younger kids watching and saying, oh gosh, there are 5 gay guys on TV and they're all fabulous and they're all successful and they're beloved. And I can now have this conversation with my family about me being gay and, or being trans or whatever it is that makes you feel different. So I think it's, it's a great vehicle to do great work, and it's wonderful to see it back.
Yeah, which I love, because that's what was so great about you guys. You were such great role models for younger people at that time. And, that you could be successful, and everything was so great. And it was groundbreaking right?
I was watching, I still lived in England then. So I watched it in England with my parents. It was huge. I mean, international success. And it was so groundbreaking.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that like it was in 98 countries, and I'll go to Brazil or like Italy, and people are like, oh, you are the Queer Eye. I am.
You are the Queer Eye. Which is so great. Tell me about so now, Get a Room with Carson and Tom was on Bravo, which another show I was obsessed with, because I love that. Because I think fashion and home is so closely related. Because listen, I went to FIT. I always think I'm a freaking interior designer, and I love doing my own. And I felt like you lent such a different eye to it. It was so fun. Your dynamic together was great. That was such a great show. I still want to see it. What's going on?
Okay, so I love doing that show, and I, like you, I totally believe that fashion is just, interior design is just fashion for your house. Yes, really.
Totally.
It's how you dress a room is very similar to how you dress your body, and you wear the colors and the prints that you love, and you live in the colors and the prints that you love, and you accentuate the positive and you minimize the negative. Like all of those things that we do in fashion translate to home, and design is design is design. So I've always had like a secret love affair with interior design. I always wanted to be an interior designer, more so than in the fashion space. And before I worked for Ralph Lauren, I had interviewed for like different interior designers to be their assistants. And I could have very easily done that route. And I'm not a professional, so I don't know what I'm doing. So it was very authentic on the show when I was working with Tom, who is the ultimate pro. I mean, he has a taste level, but he also has years of experience of, I didn't know that dealing with clients was like a big, like scary part of like being an interior designer. I thought they just said, here's $100,000, go decorate my living room and dining room. No, they're very involved. And, and I would be, the clients would ask me, like, how much will I be involved? And I was like, very honest. I was like, it depends on how annoying you're going to be. And Tom was like, oh my God, this is like for real. Like they're paying us. Like you can't be sassy with the clients. So I loved doing it. It was so fun. And we were all over, like we did Franklin Lakes and Greenwich, Connecticut, and some places in the city. And I would get to do like the little like starter projects, you know, who was just a small room. Like we did a psychic.
Yes, I remember you did this psychic.
And I did, you know, Tiffany blue walls and coral silk draperies. And I was like, oh my God, Tom's going to have a canary, because Tom's much more like neutral based. And I was just like, more color. And that was really fun. But sadly, I don't think Bravo wants to do any more. They had launched an initiative which was all about like home.
I remember they did backyard spaces. They had you guys,
right,
cutting edge of the home. Yes, I was super excited about it.
Yeah, and they did a whole thing called Bravo Home, which was going to be like every Friday, and they had like a real estate flipping show called Buying It Blind, and our show, and another one called like it was like a design contest where people to may the best room win or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they feel like it wasn't for their Bravo viewer. They are going to bring back the Backyard Envy show, because I guess that's more of a docu-soap, and they are interested in like those things because they love like workplace dramas. They were like literally like, could you just go work for Tom and it could be like a workplace drama? I was like, I love him, but no. That's really what I do. So I would love to do that show. I love working with Tom. We have a great rapport. We've known each other for, 30 years. And we might take it someplace else or do something. We have a couple new show ideas that we're out pitching right now. Especially in this post, COVID world.
People are going to be staying home. We need that show. People, you think people are going to want their spaces to be fabulous? God forbid, this pandemic or it happens again or something.
Right. Yeah, no, I do think that, one of the silver linings of the pandemic is that people are enjoying and experiencing their homes more, and we're discovering things we didn't realize, like, oh, I would like to have a nice dining room because now I eat at home. Or I would like to, I learned how to redo my closet on my own, and I put pick and steel, that self-stick wallpaper up by itself. Like, people are discovering those things. So I'm hoping that home design has a renaissance, and people are more interested in creating beautiful spaces at home.
Yeah, listen, I've done so much work in this house. Finally, I can't wait till you could come over and see it.
I know, I want to see it.
Even Joe, we had a crisis this weekend because I didn't know seagrass wallpaper, you see seams. So my upstairs hallway is very, very long. We ordered black seagrass wallpaper. He put up 7 panels. I had a nervous breakdown. Carson, you could see the seams. I couldn't sleep. I was crying. I was causing a scene. We woke up the next morning. He had to take it all down. It was dizzy. Yes. I had a rage. I had a rage.
I have seagrass. I'm trying to see.
Let me see. But ours is dark. Yeah, you don't really see your seams.
You don't see the seams on the neutral color, I think.
Yes. Ours is beautiful. Looks beautiful.
And something with seagrass also is like, it's kind of okay. Like, it's kind of inherent. It's like wearing linen. Like linen, we know rumples, and it's just part of it, and it gives it character. So I think seeing some seams on your seagrass wall would be okay.
Yeah, but it was our upstairs hallway so long, I was like, forget it. The redeeming thing is the wallpaper I ordered for his office, we got extra. So I just said, you can't do this in your office. It was a beautiful green, like a green crocodile. I think you're gonna like. It's like a dark green crocodile, and that we did that in the upstairs hallway. So he had to rip it all down, re-prep the wall and do the green crocodile. He's very capable.
The worst. You're so lucky.
I'm so lucky.
Talented like that, because I can't do anything. Like, I can basically change a light bulb. And I would go away on trips, and they would like do projects here, and they would put like wallpaper up, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. And they're like, from Allentown, they're like, what? And I was like, no, I don't like the wallpaper. And they're like, oh, that's what you chose. I'm like, I know, I fucked it up. let's take it down and we'll put different stuff up. And they were just like, are you kidding me?
I know. Oh, it was an ugly scene. Believe me, it was an ugly scene in my house. There was a lot of crying, a lot of fighting, a lot of hysteria. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We have to talk about RuPaul.
Yes.
Devoted. We're devoted fans of RuPaul, and everybody's a devoted fan of you on RuPaul. Do you just love doing that show?
Yeah, it's super fun. There's so many fun elements of that. I love working with Ru and Michelle and Ross, and there he is. How cute!
Yeah, I know. She was cute, but she was barking. She wanted to come up and visit.
Precious. So I love working with Ru, and it's one of those sets where it's a trickle down. Like, we have a great time, we work hard, we get the job done, but it's from the top down. There's a good vibe on set because of Ru, and you know, he and I get along great because we've both been doing this long enough where we're just like, we know that we're here to have fun, we're here to make a great show and get it done and go home. So I love that positive energy on set. We see an amazing drag show every time I go to work.
How fun is that?
So fun.
Which is so fun. I mean, drag is an art that has been cloistered in nightclubs, and so many people didn't really even know about it or get to see it. And now the show's been on so long, we've been on for 12 seasons, that little kids who watched it when they were like 12 are now coming on the show to be contestants when they're 22.
So crazy.
It's insane. They're like, we're like, where did you learn, about drag? They're like, from the show. And I was like, okay. Whereas most queens, are like, I was like dabbling, like, in my bedroom with a hairbrush and some, some Avon samples that I smuggled out of my mom's powder room.
Exactly.
And now these kids are watching the show and learning about it. And it's just exposed the art of drag. And I think what's so fun is that, you have to be a bit of a comedian, and you have to be a bit of a stylist, and you have to maybe sew a little bit. You have to do amazing makeup. You have to know how to do hair. Like,
you have to be so talented. So talented.
And then to have a sense of humor or a political satire kind of vibe, whatever your specialty is, to bring that to the art of drag too. Like, doing drag your special way is what makes for a winner. And every season we have these amazing kids that are coming on the show and really like just turning in amazing performances. And then the third thing that's so fun about it is that I get to sit on the panel with these amazing guest judges, and I don't know who's going to be there until I drive on the lot. I go to my little parking spot, and there are signs up, where people are parking, but it doesn't have like the guest's name up there because they want to keep that secret. So I get in, and our dressing rooms are in a long hallway, and then there's a sign on the door. Like when you go to a talk show, they have your name on the door, and I'll walk in and I'll be like, oh my God, it says LG. Who could that be? Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
So we've had so many fun people, from Lady Gaga to Olivia Newton-John to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Marc Jacobs.
So many good.
It's so cool to get to sit next to these people. And even though those runways are 4 minutes in the show, and like the judging portion and the consultation is like 4 minutes, we're there all day together, watching everything. So you get to know these guest judges, and that's really fun.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Wait, what was I going to ask? So I just want to say, Michelle Visage, she's so great. Her makeup's on point. She is a makeup artist, or just some of the drag queens do her who does her makeup?
She has 2 different makeup artists that she works with. And doesn't she, like, her makeup is like, she's
on point.
I have more screenshots of her eye makeup than anything.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm a gay man in a girl's body. Yeah. My goal in life was to look like a drag queen. People say it to me, I take it as such a compliment. I'm like, that's amazing when I'm on Housewives.
Yeah, I would take it too. Yeah, she's from South Plainfield, New Jersey, and she's a Jersey girl, and she loves makeup, and she loves a good set of her nails are like, she has a nail person, I don't know where, but that creates miniature dragon paintings. And one day they had little pearls on them. Not for me. I'm a Ralph Lauren kid, so I'm just oh my God, I'm more of a Grace Kelly vibe, but she is so well turned out and has an amazing sense of style, and just, you know, and knows what her look is and wears it really well. And she's an incredible judge on the show because she's so honest, but she's still like a mom. So she still has a kind way of delivering it usually. She really knows her stuff.
For sure. What are you guys going to do? Because with all this, we're quarantining, it's season finales coming up.
Yeah. I think we're going to probably have to do something like they're doing with American Idol, where it'll be like a virtual finale and the contestants will have to do it from home.
Whoa.
Crazy. That's
crazy.
I mean, that'll be so interesting.
I know. It'll certainly, I think all of these, I don't know, like American Idol, which I kind of never watched, but now that we're like home all the time, I have more time, and I would go to like my mom and dad's house, like 80, and have dinner with them. And then American Idol is on because they have like 3 channels, like 3, 6, and 10. And I've been watching it, and I feel like American Idol from your house would be easier because, and you know, like when you go and you do like a big thing, like if you go and like do like a big talk show, or if you're gonna like judge the Miss Universe pageant or something, there's so many people around and it's such a big production. I get more nervous because I'm just like, gosh, all these people are working on this, and like I better not F this up. And
yeah, I better not curse on live TV. Yeah.
Right. So
yes,
I feel like in some ways, like doing American Idol from home is easier because you're in your comfort zone. You've got your pretty light in front of you, and you're just like doing it to the camera. But for drag, it's the total opposite. Like I feel like you need a big sparkly stage. Like it just lends itself.
You need the production.
Yeah, it is about production.
Yeah, it's about the production.
So it'll be really interesting to see how the queens navigate a different kind of medium. But you know what? They're smart and they're talented, and you know, the people that are in the top 3 will be able to navigate it, I'm sure. And it'll just be, you know, this whole pandemic thing is that we're all in it together and everybody's kind of on the same playing field, and we're just gonna muddle through.
It's true. I mean, Atlanta taped their reunion that way. I saw their reunion. They were all in white gowns, and I saw a little preview of it, and it looked pretty fierce. I saw Nene had notes, and it was so funny.
Really?
Yeah, I saw. So they had to tape their reunion that way. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes. The Housewives thing.
Yeah, bless those editors, because the one thing about like doing like a Zoom thing or a virtual thing is that you can't really yell and scream over anybody else because it just turns into gobbledygook. You know, it's just, you can't hear at all. So that'll be interesting.
I know, that's going to be, poor Andy. I wonder if he had pants on.
Marge.
Yes.
Looks like we're going to be stuck in the house for a little while.
I know. And you know what I've been doing? Eating nonstop. So I want to come out as skinny legend.
Okay, I have a fix for you. Beachbody On Demand, everyone, is unbelievable. It's an app through your phone that you could stream to anywhere. You could stream it to your TV, you could do it on your tablet, on your computer, and they have over 1,300 different programs, celebrity trainers, everything right there in your phone.
We need that, people. We need that, because you know what? I've been eating nonstop and I want to feel motivated. Walking around the block is not enough for the March for the weight that I've been packing on the pounds. You know what I'm saying? So this Beachbody is amazing. Lexi's telling me about it. I've heard about it, and now we're going to start using it because I heard there's a 21-day challenge.
There's an amazing one called 21 Day Fix. And after all, the secret to getting good results is to just get started.
Yes.
So that's what we are going to do this week. We're going to start the 21-day challenge. And not only is it workouts, there's also eating plans in there too.
Yeah, they have dance classes, they have workouts. We're going to do the 21-day fix because in 21 days, I could drop the pounds that I've been packing on for the last month and a half. I think this will be so great. But you know what the better news is? We have an offer. We have a free trial for everybody who's listening to Caviar Dreams. And free trial. Word free. No one wants to be spending money during these times, but we want you guys all to look amazing.
That's right. So Right now, you get a free trial membership when you text Caviar to 303030. That's 303030.
Caviar, Caviar to 303030. 303030. Beachbody, the best workouts. They have yoga, they have dance classes, they have bar classes, they have any kind of class you want. Streaming, the easiest app ever, amazing meal plans.
It's great.
We're going to be doing the 21-day things.
And all of our listeners get full access to the entire platform for free. The workouts, the nutrition, the information, and the support. So remember, text Caviar to 303030.
Good luck, guys. Coming out, a fit legend.
Oh, skinny legends. Here we come. Beachbody on demand.
But anyway, you have a housewife story. I saw a picture of you at some benefit with, my nemesis, Danielle Staub.
Oh,
don't you have a Danielle story?
I want to be nice today.
Okay, we could be nice.
But no, I'm saying if I tell the story, it's not going to be nice. Because that was a benefit, and I could tell you stories. I have a ton. We're gonna spill some tea here.
Okay, good. We love a little tea.
Danielle was never really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I'm probably like you, like there was just something that I'm just like, oh, this person's just not for me. Yeah. And that's fine.
And I gave her a benefit of the doubt for a while.
Right. And
nice.
As did I, because I've tried to be nice and respectful to everybody. And we did this benefit together, which was fine. And it was wonderful that she was there anytime you do a benefit. And then as one does, sometimes they say to the talent who's like doing the auction, would you guys want to donate something? And I said, okay, yeah, why don't, and Danielle and I were like the celebrity auctioneers, and you know how that goes.
Yes.
And I said, well, why don't we do like dinner at the Polo Bar? And Danielle and me will take the, two people that are the highest bidders, and we'll do a nice dinner in the city. And that'll be easy. And she and I can split the dinner.
Of
course, take these lovely winners who, paid like $2,000 to go to dinner or whatever.
Yes.
And give them a nice experience. And lo and behold, the day, and these things get scheduled like months later, and then they happen and you're like, oh, I forgot I have to do this thing tonight. The day of, like, the dinner's like at 8:00 at the Polo Bar. I've called, I've arranged it. And the plan is that we will meet there and we'll split the dinner, and that'll be our donation to the charity.
Of course.
And we'll give these ladies a nice time, and we'll dish about, my show, her show, whatever. As one does when you do these, experiences that you donate.
Do you know how many dinners and lunches I do? I do one like twice a month.
Yeah, no, I'll bet you do probably like 20 a year, which is like what I do.
Yes. And it's the right thing to do.
And it's easy for us to do it. You go and take somebody out to dinner, and the charity's made like $5,000 or $10,000, and you've spent like $200. It's not a big deal.
Exactly, it's not a big deal.
So the day of the thing, the dinner's at 8. At 5:00, she calls and says, I don't feel good. I really can't do it. And I was like, wait, you're calling me now? And I don't know if I can get I don't know who's paying for the car to like come into the city. And I was like, what? I was like, you have to get yourself there. Like, this is not like a production. I'm going to meet you there. You're going to get yourself there. We're going to split dinner. And that's what we said we would do at the charity. I just can't make it. So she doesn't come. I was just like, I felt so bad for these women because I didn't know like why they bought the dinner. They might've been a super fan of hers, and then they'd be like, oh God, we're getting stuck with you.
No.
Fortunately, they were fans of mine. And they were like, oh, we don't care. And I was like, well, I'm so sorry because you're not getting what we promised. So after that, I was just like, wow, that's unacceptable. And not the kind of person like I want to like hang out with anyway.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's just that it's the entitled weirdness of thinking they're a big celebrity when they're not.
Yes,
I'm like, shit,
yes.
I nonstop. I totally get it. And like, it's funny. I do so many lunches and dinners and I love to do it. I'd love to meet people who want to meet me. And I feel like it's such a nice way to give back and people really like it. I auction myself off all the time for that. I think that's,
and it's so easy. All you have to do is go and be yourself and take somebody to lunch. I have a standard. I take them to Bergdorf's and we go to that gorgeous room.
That's what I do. Yeah. I go to Bergdorf's. I used to go to Barney's also, but you know what happened with friends. But
and have deviled eggs and then like waltz through the shoe department and 3 hours later they're tickled pink and we've raised a lot of money. So when that all like imploded, I was just like, gosh, you're not a nice person. And I get your like that sense of like, I'm super famous and fabulous.
But you're not. But that's exactly.
It feels fraudulent. And that's how I felt our dinner thing that we were supposed to do turned out fraudulent.
Exactly. But it was better. You wouldn't have had a good time anyway. It would have been like nonsense.
Oh, I did. And they were lovely. And the two ladies were from Florida and they own a bunch of salons because it was like a hair or something. I wound up like making nice friends and like they were booking me for another thing. So it wound up being like, I did the right thing and the universe rewarded me. So there's your Danielle tea.
Oh, I love it. I bet, but I have to say I'm not shocked. But you know what? I also want to say you were involved in so many charities, which is so unbelievable. Lexi, go down. I don't have my glasses. Go down the list.
So you work with the Trevor Project, the Human Rights Campaign, the AIDS War. I mean, Aldi Rodriguez Liver Foundation. You're a trustee on the True Colors Fund. I mean, you're the biggest philanthropist ever.
Well, you know what? That again, like my IMDb list, it sounds more impressive than it is. A lot of those are just like every year I try to host a couple AIDS walk rallies because I'm of the age where I remember like living in the AIDS epidemic era and going to like fundraisers and dances and people were like, that I knew were dying. So if somebody just says, hey, will you come for an hour and host a show at the end of the walk to thank the walkers, it's so easy. So yeah, of course I do that. Trevor Project had a thing called Cracked Christmas, which is a comedy show that I was involved with. So most of them are just me volunteering my time doing what I do. So it's easy for me. And I feel like, it's just what you must do. And then,
you are. I mean, I feel like, I think like we're related. We're very much.
Yeah. No, I'm totally feeling your vibe. I love both of you. And I do think we're very similar. We have
we are. We
same
grew up.
sensibility.
I'm 2 years. I was born. You were born when? 69?
Yeah. November 69.
November what?
11th.
Oh, the day before Joe. You're a Scorpio. No wonder I love you.
Yeah. Yes.
Joe. I mean, Joe's much older than you. He was born November 12th, but I'm born in 67. But like same kind of generation. 73. Yeah. I love the 70s. But same thing to me. I do so many charity things involved. Like you. That's where I met you. Live Out Loud. You were
right.
I'm seeing that. You were co-hosting that.
Yes. And the people that, really do the hard volunteer work are the people that are like going into the centers every day and like, the hands-on stuff, that's the hard stuff. Like doing like hosting a celebrity auction or taking people out to lunch. Like we get to do the easy stuff. So
we do.
It's, it's really fun. And then the True Colors United, I am on the board and that's something, Cyndi Lauper started that and she did a concert tour in 2008 and all of the money was to start the True Colors Fund, which, and this is important, and I'm very passionate about it, especially about LGBTQ youth, because I know how vulnerable they are, because when you are a gay kid or a trans kid or whatever, you feel like maybe even home isn't safe. Whereas everybody else, like if you're getting bullied at school because you're the only Asian kid in your class, odds are you're going to go home to your parents. They're going to be Asian and they're going to say, listen, I know it doesn't make any sense, but this is a safe place. We're like you. Don't worry. We got your back. Whereas gay kids oftentimes feel, I can't tell my parents. And then the True Colors Fund works specifically to end LGBTQ homelessness and youth homelessness, because gay kids still get kicked out of their houses by their parents, or they're turned away from homeless shelters that are run by churches that say, we can't have you because you're gay. Even though they sometimes get federal funding, they still have the ability sometimes to kick kids out. So we're trying to work really hard to, make sure the law doesn't allow those sorts of things, to make sure that there are resources and safe places for kids in their communities. And, places like Oklahoma and Texas, which maybe don't have an LGBT center. So they do really important work. And that's been something I've been involved with for about 12 years now.
That's so
good. Yeah, they do great stuff. And again, I get to go to board meetings and help figure out, fun ways to raise money and make connections with people to forward our mission. But, again, I'm hosting concerts and doing shows and donating money that way, as opposed to going to Washington every Monday and lobbying. Although we did go, and I went and we lobbied in front of the Senate, and I felt just like Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. And it was during the Obama administration, and we actually got invited to go to the White House. And it was so insane. I just remember, I've been to a lot of places where there's high security, where they're looking under your car with a mirror, going to some Oscar party, at Madonna's house. I've had those random moments where I'm why am I even here? But going to the White House, you have to go to a little room, you enter from the sidewalk, and then you go into a little, and this was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, it's a different world. You go into a gazebo, a brick building, and a dog walks around you.
Oh, and sniffs your crotch and everything. Ooh.
Yeah, and then you go I swear there must be some kind of super duper X-ray. You go through a little hallway, and I don't know if they do an entire body scan, but the security to get into the actual White House is as you would imagine, but it was approaching James Bond level, intense. I was shocked. And then we got in, and then it was kind of you were in an office building, and there was a theater where we sat, and we met with the director of housing and urban development. It was really quite amazing. And I was hoping that Obama was going to stick his head in and be hi guys, how's your meeting going? But that didn't happen. But he was a very supportive president for making sure that at-risk youth, whether they were LGBT or not, were really protected.
Yeah, that's so important. And that's so impressive. If you ever want me to do anything, I'm there. I would love to be involved in something.
Okay.
Because I'm always, want to do something.
Thank you
I told
so much.
you, live out loud, and that just goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah. Kids are people, they oftentimes don't have voices, and they don't have resources, and they're the ones that I think really need the help and need the voice and need someone to stick up for them.
Yeah, I always feel I'd love to be involved in all children's charities. Everything I do is mostly for kids.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with kids.
Yeah.
This is so good. Now, wait, do you have siblings?
I do. I have a brother and a sister. They're both older. They're 6 years and 8 years older. So by the time when I was 10, my brother and sister were 16 and 18. So they were just oh my God, please leave us alone. Get out of here. So I felt like an only child for most of my childhood, because, when you're 10 and they're 18, you're not hanging out.
No, not at all.
And occasionally I would my parents would travel to go to races, or go to Nashville to see a singer or something. They weren't jet setters, but sometimes they would go on trips, and my sister, who was 18, would have to babysit me, and I was 10. And I distinctly remember going on dates with her and her boyfriend, she was in high school, and her boyfriend was named Chuck, and he had a Trans Am, a brown Trans Am.
Chuck.
This was 1979, and we went to the mall and went to see Flash Gordon and The Shining, inappropriate movies for a 10-year-old. But I was like, brought along, which was so funny. And I just remember riding around the back seat of a Trans Am, which is not very comfortable, even for a 10-year-old. That was the crazy stuff. Like the 70s, I just think were so insane.
I love the 70s. I love everything about the 70s. Any movie about the 70s, interior design of the 70s, the fashion of the 70s, music. I'm totally obsessed. Fleetwood Mac, I'm still I love everything that reminds me of my childhood. The smell of copper tone. I love to burn candles that smell like copper tone, anything like that. I can't get over it.
The smell that I love, and I'm the same, again, we're the same person. I love the 70s. The smell of a 1970s car interior, and they were like velour. Remember when there were velour interiors? Yes. And people still smoked in their cars. And I was at an antique car show, and someone had a 1977 Chrysler Imperial, and I stuck my head in it, and it smelled like velour seating and cigarettes. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I know. Cars were so big too. Weren't they just so big? The front seat went straight across.
They were like 2 sofas in a car. And they were like this, the seat looked like this. If you had a fancy car in the 70s, if you had a LeBaron or an Eldorado, they had tufted
Eldorado.
Velour
Yes, my grandfather had the Eldorado. And I would sit on his lap and he would let me drive while he was smoking out the window.
Yeah, no, that's how we did. And look, we're still alive and well.
That's what I say. We were,
March. Have you heard about the Snatchler?
I actually have heard of the Snatchler. Who doesn't love the name The Snatchler, first of all? The Snatchler rhymes with The Bachelor. And that's what the podcast is about. And you know who does it?
Who does it?
Margot Oshray.
And her roommate, Nicole.
I know. I just love it so much.
Every week they do a deep dive into all things Bachelor. And we all know everyone is obsessed with The Bachelor.
And you know what I love? The way they do it is so modern, current. So if you're young and fabulous, you totally, absolutely relate to Margot.
Absolutely. And they have great guests all relating back to The Bachelor every week. And they share their own dating experiences kind of alongside their Bachelor recap. So it's really fun. So if you're in that post-grad dating, or if you just want to live vicariously through that fabulous
because
young
I
lives
love to live vicariously through Margot and Nicole. It's so fun. They have the best insight. It's amazing. The Snatchler is such a great podcast to listen to. So, if you're obsessed with Bachelor Nation, they always have the tea. And guess what? It's also on the Toast Network.
So make sure to check it out. The Snatchler.
Snatchler. Snatched. Life is so complicated.
We had no phones. You would go stay over to a friend's house and you wouldn't be in contact with your parents for 2 days if you went for the weekend. And if somebody needed you, you just would call them, and you would sometimes it was before answering machines even. You would just have to be I tried calling you, but you weren't home. And how did we even live? Nobody had any idea where anybody was.
It's true. It's absolute. I know. It was fun. It was more fun. I don't like it. That's the whole thing. We're too available. Everybody could find me. You can't make up a good story. I hate it.
No, I don't even know how people did business. I remember when the fax, when I first started working in New York in 1991, the fax had just come out. It's oh, we can fax you your paperwork. I was like, what is this magical fax machine?
I know.
And now it's just, I got a printer because I needed to have one out here in the country. And it was it has a fax. I'm like, what do you need a fax for?
Yeah, we don't have a fax. Someone asked me they wanted to fax something. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, scan it and email it on your phone. You could have a phone with a scanner.
Of course. Yeah. I don't know.
What about the first cell phone? It was the size of a shoe. Oh, I felt it was so big.
Yeah. And I remember when we first started Queer Eye, I had a Trio, a Palm Pilot Trio, and it had a stick. A stylist you had to use. God forbid you lost the stylus, because it would stick in the side, but then sometimes it would get a little loose, and you'd lose your stick. It would fall out, and that was,
you're screwed. Yes, I mean, what is Carson? We're dating us, but thank God we look so youthful. You look youthful. You haven't had work done. I've had a full facelift, but that's okay.
Well, I was just like, I wish I had gotten one right before all this pandemic, because it would have been the perfect time to heal.
Perfect time. That's what I said. I could have got a boob lift. I know. I said this is ridiculous.
No, I should have done something, but
no, you look gorgeous.
There's never any time. I'm just excited to get Botox and a haircut. Like,
yes,
same.
I know. I know.
Face moves.
And get my teeth done. I go to New Jersey.
Beautiful. Your teeth look gorgeous.
This guy in New Jersey, his name is Dr. Anthony Bocaturo, and he's in Colts Neck. And he did all the Miss America and Miss USA people.
They look beautiful.
I loved his work, and he did my teeth. I had veneers before then, but they were about ready to be redone. So, but now I have to always go to New Jersey for like my cleanings. Like, I don't want anyone else. Like, it's like when you get like a Bosch dishwasher, you call the Bosch guy to come fix it.
I know.
Now I go to him, and I live in New York or I'm in Pennsylvania, but I'm never like in Colts Neck. So it like becomes a full day adventure. But here's a shopping tip.
Tell me.
That area, I think it's called it's in Ocean County, New Jersey, somewhere near Asbury Park, but not in Asbury Park, like between Colts Neck and Asbury Park, in like Neptune or something. There is the best home sense store. And there's a phenomenal Home Goods across the street.
Ooh, we love a good Home Goods.
I feel like the Home Goods up north, like there's one in, is it Randolph Township or something?
Maybe. I mean, there's one in Paramus, not far from us, that's decent.
The Paramus one is probably okay, but I've gone to this other one, like in northern New Jersey, like more of a Bergen County one for Get a Room. The one in Ocean Township or wherever it is near Asbury Park is so good.
We're going to have to go. Lexi and I could go because I get my color done in Scarsdale, my hair color. We get our hair cut in Asbury Park.
Oh, really?
There's a great girl hair. Yeah. Called Lock and Shade. She cuts our hair. Julius, the guy who does a lot of the housewives, colors my hair in Scarsdale. And he styles my hair for the show. But my hair is cutting very much a shag, and she's very rock and roll. And, you know, my head up, my rock and roll girlfriend. She's very vintage. So she's and I love Asbury. So Lexi and I
do too.
Asbury.
They just built a new, kind of fascinated. I didn't get there at all last summer. But they built like a new tower, and my friend's a realtor. And he's been sending me stuff, and it looks like one of those, you know, all those high rises in Miami, and they're all called like Continuum and Millennium and whatever. And they're all glass. They're building one of those in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And it's not that expensive because it's, you know,
it's Asbury.
It's Asbury. And I'm actually quite tempted to look at one because
go look. If you're close there, that would be great.
I just think it's so fun there. I love Asbury
The
Park.
restaurants are great. I did a big appearance. I judged Miss Paradise. I was a judge.
Oh, I love Paradise.
And
I love
they had
Paradise.
Miss Paradise. And this fabulous drag queen, Olivia Lux won.
The
best. Amazing. And I just
they have a great Halloween party there, which we go to every year, and we dress up. And we go with like 10 friends, and my 2 friends live in Interlaken, which is the cutest town you've ever seen.
Yes, I know where Interlaken is. It's right there. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's right there. So I'm a big fan. But I get the whole, like, you know, my teeth are done in New Jersey, and my hair cut. I used to get it colored in LA and cut in New York. I was like, this is insane. So now I go to the drawing room in the city, and there's a great guy who does my color named Mirko, and a great guy that does my cut. So I've streamlined the process.
It's a lot. Listen, I did my teeth with Dr. Appa. I just did my veneers. My uppers.
They're gorgeous.
He did a good job. Dr. Appa, he's done a lot of people, so I love him. So now I go to the city for the teeth. The haircut.
Right. Yes.
Same
We
thing.
go down the shore, almost fulfill it. I mean, we
Down,
are like
my
all
plastic
over.
surgeon's down the shore. It's the Dr. Caroline.
Dr. Caroline, you got to
Woo!
drive where it's good.
You got to go where it's good. It's not
agree.
easy, Carson, to be us.
I have to find a good man's facelift person. If you hear of one,
I want you to look at Dr. Carolac. He does not make anybody look feminine. He happens to be down the shore. He only does from the neck up.
Right.
He only does faces. He's done quite a few men. He's meticulous. He's in his late 40s. He's amazing.
And he also is so handsome. He looks like a Baldwin brother. So
No.
handsome.
Baldwin brother before they got on the sauce.
Why are they all, pre-puffy?
Pre-puffy. Before.
Why are they all so good looking? I feel like plastic surgeons are generally like great looking and like dentists usually have like the most amazing teeth.
Yeah,
like,
but you don't want to go to one that doesn't. That would be
true. But I feel like they have that and they're like, I think I'm going to be a dentist because my teeth are so awesome, or I think I'm going to be a plastic surgeon because I'm so gorgeous. Like, it certainly helps your business.
Yeah,
I think they think about that in medical school.
They have to, because I wouldn't want to go to a dentist who has shitty teeth.
No, because those you can really fix nowadays. Like a face, there's only so much you can do with it, but
it's true, because I don't like when everybody starts looking alike.
No.
Like, I've had a lot of things, like even on my show, they were like, oh, do the long extensions. I was like, I'll wear a hairpiece once in a while, but everybody doesn't need hair down to their vagina. I don't like when everybody starts to look alike, or they get the surgery to look like everyone's starting to look like a Kardashian. It's not necessary.
Well, and also like beautiful hair is great, but like when you see like this like overwhelming, like when it becomes like drag queen, like gigantic, like it's kind of detracting actually.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's too over the top. Well, I just want to say,
I agree.
Enjoyable, like, conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I cannot wait till everybody can hear everything you have to say. And I can't wait to see you. Like, really.
I love doing it. We are like yin and yang. I love
totally. I can't wait to be together.
Sometimes these are like torture and you're like looking at the clock and you're like, oh my God, is this over yet? And this one I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe we're finished, because it was such a delight. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And enjoy it. You look gorgeous and tan and fabulous.
Oh, God, no, I look like a gym teacher.
No, no, tell everybody just where you'd like them to find you.
Yeah, just on all social media at Carson Kressley. It's so easy. And I love the Instagram. I hardly do any of the others.
Me too. I'm
like,
the gram.
Twitter feels like too like business-like or something now, and like doesn't have personality. I like the gram. I love photos and a sassy caption. So find me there.
Sassy caption. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you later.
So
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Where's our little thing? Where's our little thing? I know, we don't even know how to hang up. Well, if that wasn't the best.
The best. I love Carson. I mean, first of all, my husband and my mom were so excited that Carson was coming on. Big fans. Everyone in my family, big fans of Carson.
I mean, I just adore him. Everything he stands for.
You two are very similar.
I think we're very similar. We might be the same. We might be separated birth.
You really might. Blonde twins separated at birth.
Blonde twins separated by 2 years. I could be his older sister.
That's right.
We both have very distinct voices.
You do.
We're both blonde.
You are.
I mean, he's thinner than I am.
He feels like an only child, which makes sense for us.
Which makes sense. I love everything about him. I think he's funny. He's philanthropic. He doesn't say no to things. He loves to eat. He loves to take people to lunch. That's what I do, by the way. I donate myself all the time to go to lunches. He doesn't like the straw. I don't like the straw. I mean, we're straw-phobic. I mean, I just love the whole thing.
That was unbelievable. And it's so interesting that they're going to do a drag finale over Zoom. I mean, I can't. Crazy. How will they know that they did their own makeup, that they didn't have assistants? Are they going to have to like submit their entire process on tape? Because
probably they're probably going to show the whole process.
They're going to have to.
Yes, but this is such groundbreaking stuff, and I just hope. Listen, he has to have. I love him on Drag Race, but he has to have his own show. I follow everything he does. He's so great,
love
and
him
his
and
style
together too.
Yes, everything Carson does is amazing. But Caviar Dreamers, I hope you love that, because listen, he's a child that came up in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes when you like, you know, don't have a lot of boundaries, not helicopter parent, you know, you make your own way. And he also, part determination, part delusion. No one says no to you. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? That's the way we all have to think. Why can't I? Why can't I?
And say yes. I think one thing I definitely have learned with you is sometimes, you know, I come from a place of nowhere. I'm like, oh, that'll be so difficult. That'll be so annoying. But you say yes to everything.
I say yes to everything.
So many opportunities have come your way because you just let it breathe. You say yes and you let things like happen, and you've met some incredible people that other people could be dismissive of.
Yes. And the other thing is, I don't get paid for everything I do. I just want everyone to know that.
No,
everything's not a paying gig. Who gives a shit? It's about the opportunities, meeting people, doing stuff. Carson's the same way. And look, he's super successful. The Marge is successful in her own right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big lesson to be learned. So Caviar Dreamers, I hope you enjoyed this, because I loved this podcast. This was a great one. This was a great one.
So
and we dressed up for him. So, you know, put my Contessa hair on.
We did our little socialite look.
We did our socialite look for Carson. So love you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're home safe, healthy, and happy.
And you can find us at Caviar Dreams, Tuna Fish Budget on Instagram. We are also on YouTube now, channel by the same name.
Yes.
This is The Real Margaret Josephs. I'm the Life of Mrs. B.
Yes, and that's us.
And you'll see us next week too.
See us next. Am I looking in the camera? I always do this.
Every week.
Every week.
We need YouTube camera training.
Yes, I need YouTube camera training. I'm great on the regular camera, but not the YouTube camera. Bye, guys.
Bye.